Hey, it's me, Joel. Just wanted to jump in here right at the beginning to say that yes, we are aware this episode is much longer than our previous episodes have been. Because we had a guest on, we tried making two characters, and we all agreed afterwards, including the guest, that it wasn't worth doubling the recording time. Out of respect to our guest, we're not splitting this episode up, but if we ever get another episode this long, we probably will make it a two-parter. At the end of this episode, James, our guest, states that he's recently changed his username to MasterKingTyrone on Twitch. However, since the name didn't go over as well with his audience, he's changed his domain yet again to ChaosKingTyrone. So, ignore the twitch.tv/MasterKingTyrone. Master King Tyrone is dead. All hail Chaos King Tyrone. Anyway, enjoy the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, welcome to the show. If you're here to learn how to create characters in different RPGs, you're in the wrong place because we're not creating characters, we're creating cats. This is how to create a literal cat in your favorite RPG.
That it is, Joel. We're here. We're back. This is episode 3.
Four.
This is 4?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, I don't know what order we're publishing these in.
Who knows? This could be episode 10 for all we know. Probably won't.
Probably 4, though. If it's not 4, y'all can mock us as much as you want. Anyway, welcome to How to Make a Literal Cat in Your Favorite RPG. We are here to make cats in different RPGs. We don't care how many rules we have to break to do it. Anyway, we have someone with us today. And that someone is James. This is James. Everyone say hello to James.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, James.
Hello. And James, what is your area of expertise here?
Funny enough, I'm pretty good at some gaming and making characters, believe it or not.
All right.
I'm also pretty good at storytelling, too.
Okay. James has joined us all the way from wherever he's from. We're all speaking remotely anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. But, man, I'm off my game today. Sorry, guys.
All good, all good.
It's okay. Y'all are going to have to carry this episode, which is going to be awkward because I am still filling in the role as the game master, sort of.
Oh, boy.
You are the one that has all of the games, I think, ever created, it feels like.
Yeah, only half of them.
That's still a pretty good number.
I highly doubt I even have half. Maybe half the ones created officially since 2016. No, that's still a staggering number of games. I'm nowhere close. Anyway, I am kind of going to be walking people through character creation in this, my favorite RPG.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never really quite made a literal animal character before, so this is going to be fun.
Also, James, isn't it your birthday at the time of recording this?
It was a day ago.
That's right. Anyway, happy birthday to James here.
Happy birthday, James.
Thank you, guys.
And as your birthday present, I will let you make the cat this episode. Austin is going to be making a normal guy.
This is fantastic.
Right?
Well, normal for the system, which you're making a supernatural private investigator. But
Tell me that's not normal in real life? Guys, I gotta go.
I mean... So anyway, again, this is my favorite role-playing game, City of Mist. City of Mist is a Daredevil-inspired paranormal investigation game. That's probably not a great way to put it. Have y'all read the Fable comics or played The Wolf Among Us?
Not played it. I've seen people play it.
I've seen some of it played, but I have not played it myself.
Okay. Wolf Among Us, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, those are, oddly enough, the closest examples you can find to movies that will describe this game. One of those is not a movie, don't at me.
Huh.
But
I never really seen Roger Rabbit that way. That makes sense.
but yeah. So basically it's a noir film world where the world is surrounded by supernatural phenomena. Most people go about their ordinary lives completely unaware this is happening because of a phenomenon called the mist, which basically separates fiction from reality as we understand it. However, things get through the mist all the time, and these things will attach themselves to people, objects, animals, you name it, and form what we call rifts.
This is almost exactly like Percy Jackson. I know exactly what's going on now.
Yeah, that actually would have been a better. That actually probably would be better.
I mean, Percy Jackson is far more of a Demigods RPG, releasing soon, hopefully, or a Scion RPG. But yeah, it has some similarities. The idea of a mist that kind of keeps the divine, the supernatural from the prying eyes of non-supernaturals
Mm-hmm.
fits, except in Percy Jackson, you enter into that world by birthright. Whereas in City of Mist, everyone actually has a mythical world equivalent that has to reach out to them. But when that connection is formed, you realize you've been, I don't know, Zeus or Red Riding Hood all along. And now that connection has been established, they want to tell their story through you in the modern day.
All right.
Did I say who published this game? Son of Oak Game Studio. It's Son of Oak Game Studio, who also made Queers RPG. That's Queers with a Z, and is currently working on I don't know if it's Tokyo Otherscape, Metro Otherscape. It's I backed the Kickstarter and I'm still confused by it. But it's kind of the same deal except cyberpunk. So it should be cool when it comes out.
We'll leave that up to the viewers to find out.
Yeah. Shout out to Son of Oak Game Studio though. They publish some cool games. They all kind of follow the exact same pattern as City of Mist. In fact, City of Mist is the template.
By the way, before we move too far, I would like to encourage the guests to go and check out the games that we use for this series, because the ones we have done so far are fantastic. After reading through them and going through character creation, I heavily encourage you all to go out and check these games out. If you're a fan of RPGs, probably the reason why you're here. Please go give them all a look.
Mm-hmm. And then come back here and listen to us butcher another RPG by turning it into a cat. So anyway, let's, I guess without further ado, get started. I should also note, I am working with the old version of the City of Mist tome. The new version is the exact same, except it's been split into 2 books. But if you're following along at home and you didn't get in on the first edition of this game, then the page numbers will probably be all wrong. Don't listen to me when I shout out a page number.
Right.
Who are you, right? Character creation starts on page 88, according to this. Technically 89 in the PDF, but the page is labeled 88 on the chapter. We need to kind of go through some things. First off, you've got the character. You both have your character sheets up, right?
Yes.
Step 1 of this is kind of, we need to establish what we're looking at.
Okay.
Just a quick, I'll throw it out there. Does anyone want to play as a gatekeeper?
I was thinking about making the cat a gatekeeper. Trust me, I have an interesting idea that you're gonna like.
Okay, well in that case, you should also open up Shadows and Showdowns to page 236, it looks like, and we'll start from here. Anyway, allow me to explain what we're talking about. City of Mist, at its core, has characters split up between 2 elements. There's the mythos, and then there's the logos. If you're playing without the Shadows and Showdowns expansion, that is all that there is. Mythos and logos. And what these 2 ideas represent are the different aspects of your character. As I explained before, when your character becomes a rift, they establish a connection with a legend, a character from a legend, or something of the sort. Sometimes just the concept of, I don't know, the concept of Robin Hood could come through, and then maybe it starts off, you're the classic folk tale of Robin Hood. But then as you go on, you acquire aspects of the Disney's Robin Hood. And if you keep going, you'll eventually acquire aspects of that one Robin Hood movie starring Russell Crowe that was no one actually liked.
No one actually liked that.
I'm sorry. It wasn't that
It was
good.
not. It was
didn't
not
even
good.
see it.
No.
No offense to Russell Crowe if you're listening.
All right.
But the idea here is mythos is that legend. That legend, like I said, wants its story to be told through you. But you didn't realize you were part of this legend until, like, the moment your character awakened. And that could have been years ago. It could have been 5 minutes ago at the start of the game. Who knows yet? But the point is, you've already been living your life. You already have your own hopes, dreams, goals, ambitions, struggles, relationships. And you can't just abandon all of those to go pursue the mysteries and tell the story that you were apparently part of all along. If you are playing with the Shadows and Showdowns expansion though, like we are, you have another option. You can replace your Mythos themes with Gatekeeper themes. And the Gatekeeper themes basically give you supernatural abilities made to help you maintain the mist. This force that separates reality from fiction. When something leaks through, it is your job to make sure that it doesn't become a thing that opens up even more holes in the fabric of reality. Because it could be a very simple thing that tears a hole so big that something called the riot will happen. And the riot is a concept that's been presented throughout the City of Mist rulebook. There's a lot more information about it in Shadows and Showdowns. But essentially, it's the destruction of the mist and a merging of the Mythos and Logos worlds entirely. It is generally considered a bad thing. So as a gatekeeper, it would be your job to stop it. But as a player in a non-gatekeeper game, gatekeepers tend to get in your way. They are a regulatory force who wants you to not pursue the mysteries of your mythos. So again, it's my understanding that, like, if you're a gatekeeper, you don't have a mythos past. You may have human ties, but you are separate from the mist. You're kind of above and immune to its effects. So, Austin, would you prefer to play as the manifestation of a legend or as the fun police who keeps you from manifesting legends?
I want to manifest a legend.
All right. So this cat and Austin's human guy are going to be at odds probably.
Oh, at odds? I was actually kind of more thinking of a little bit of a weird truce kind of thing.
I think it can be an uneasy alliance or something, but there will be a lot of points. If you're playing a gatekeeper and he's playing a rift, there will be a lot of points where you are simply at odds.
That just makes it more fun.
True.
Exactly. This is not a problem. It is. Yeah. It's just a thing.
Once we get there, I'll tell you my idea of what I kind of want this cat to be.
So the first thing we need to do is kind of come up with a concept. We need to know, first off, who is your character? That's step one, as you can see on page 94 or 95 of the PDF in the core rulebook. So the most important thing to note is, like I said, what is your character concept? Who are you? And this, again, has two parts. It has your regular life. You have to think about your regular life. Who are you in real life? And then who are you? Whose legend is being told through you? Who's your mythos side, basically?
Mm-hmm.
And so, James has already said that he is a gatekeeper. So I think just cross out your mythos, the thing that says mythos on your character sheet and just say gatekeeper. And then if you have a further description to give, then there should be a second line on that card.
Alright.
And then your logos is cat.
I was gonna put cat life, actually. Cat life.
That's fine. That works just as well. Austin, do you have an idea for your character?
Ooh, currently thumbing through every mythical being I can think of. I feel like I would want a character and a mythos who are kind of, is it a logos? That's your...
Yeah, logos, human side.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want like a logos that's kind of like not super into being, all of that.
The more the logos and mythos are at odds, the better. There are entire mechanics based around this.
So I'm trying to think of like kind of a person who lives their life very quietly,
Like Kira Yoshikage?
I don't know who that is.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4?
Oh,
Serial killer?
I've seen like 2 episodes of JoJo.
Okay, Joel, I think you need to tie him down and make him watch the entire JoJo series.
He's too far away. My arms aren't long enough to reach.
Who knows? So maybe someday.
Anyway, I can't blame you. Part 1 was kind of tough to get through.
I think like once they got the part 2, it was smooth.
Yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, we're getting off track.
We are making a cat and a human. Let's go. Unless we want to make a cat. Unless we want to make the cat the stand. No, I'm not going with that. That's lame. It'd be funny, but it'd be lame.
So
yeah. Anyway.
So for logos, kind of just like probably like a factory worker who just kind of goes in, gets their job done, comes home, spends their free time, just doing the things they enjoy, and then mythos probably. I'm trying to think of like a god that just like. I could do like Loki or someone who just wants to go out and cause problems on purpose, or someone like Dionysus that wants to go out and party or have something of them known to the world.
I feel like I'm actually more into the Loki one. That actually is interesting because then that could really help conflict with the cat as well. Would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would like if we're gonna have the cat as a gatekeeper. And they're working with you, I think that is going to create some interesting friction.
Yeah.
The character that you have described there. Because anytime you give in to your mythos side, that is going to be very bad for your relationship.
That is when the cat will strike if you give in.
Okay, so we'll do Loki as the mythos.
Yeah, that works perfectly. That really does.
You mean perfectly? I'm sorry, that's Austin's job.
All right, we've reached our cat pun quota. It's only 1. It's pretty low.
Oh, come on. We're feeling fine about this, right?
Feline fine.
We already ended an episode on that one.
We did end an episode.
Well, we're starting in the middle with that one. There you go, boys.
Oh boy. Anyway.
All right, so
we got our character concepts. Now we move on to choosing themes. Each character is made out of 4 themes. Each theme is associated with either a mythos or logos, or a gatekeeper theme. The character begins the game with 1 mythos or gatekeeper theme, and at least 1 logos theme. You have to have 1 of each. You can distribute the others however you want. So if you want to... there's even a bit of a description for this. Rift with 1 mythos theme and 3 logos themes is touched. For the touched, ordinary life plays a bigger role than their mythos, which they only tap into when absolutely necessary. Touch always run the risk of losing contact with their mythos and becoming sleepers again. A rift with 2 mythos themes and 2 logos themes is a borderliner. Borderliners are walking the line between becoming a glorious exemplar of their legend and maintaining their ordinary identity. A rift with 3 mythos themes and 1 logos theme is a legendary. Legendaries have almost entirely opened up to the mythos in them, becoming more powerful and to some extent taking less interest in the mundane life. Nevertheless, they are still dependent on at least 1 thing that makes them human. Losing it would end their humanity and make them a willing vessel of their mythos, an avatar.
And if that were to happen, that's when the gatekeeper comes in.
Yeah. Well, gatekeepers honestly don't seem to mind avatars because the mist works overtime to hide them anyway.
I feel like my cat would start pouncing then.
That could be. I'm just going to read through the mythos theme types that are listed in the book, and then we'll get in. There are new themes that have been added in the Shadows and Showdowns expansion, but let's just go through what we have in the core book first. Because these are kind of the ones that everyone's familiar with. These are the ones that have official support on DriveThruRPG and Roll20.net and all those sites. Anyway, so mythos themes. The adaptation theme represents powers that can change according to the situation, or a power with many different uses, such as sorcery, shapeshifting, or gadgeteering. The Bastion theme represents powers that allow you to survive harsh conditions and protect yourself and others from harm, such as a body made out of stone, invulnerability, or some other magical protection. The Divination theme represents powers that allow you to know or learn things beyond normal perception, such as special senses, the power to read minds, or the power to communicate with the dead. The Expression theme type, and this is kind of like your most common, combat theme I've seen, represents powers that you can project or unleash to affect or influence the world, such as a warrior's rage, blasts of ice, a healing touch, or mind control. The Mobility theme represents powers that allow you to move easily, fast, and unobstructed, such as the power to fly, turn your body into water, or miraculously escape confinement. The Relic theme type represents an object in your possession that channels powers of your mythos, such as a magic ring, flying broom, or a diabolic mask that turns you into a vampire. The Subversion theme represents powers that allow you to act discreetly and hide your intentions and deeds, such as trickery and illusions, invisibility, and the power to beguile others. Now onto the Logos themes in the core book. The Defining Event theme represents a pivotal moment or period in your life that has changed you irrevocably, such as a near-fatal accident, an earth-shaking revelation, or time spent at an orphanage. The Defining Relationship theme type represents a relationship with a person, group, or organization that is at the center of your life, such as your mother, your mentor, your gang, or your cult. The Mission represents a goal you have set for yourself and that you strive to achieve, such as finding a cure to a disease, avenging your brother, or bringing a killer to justice. The Personality theme type represents your character, temperament, or personal style, such as being charming, hard-boiled, flamboyant, or paranoid. The Possessions theme type represents anything important you have in your possession, such as your fortune and assets, your old car, or an arsenal of firearms. The Routine theme type represents your main everyday activities, such as a job, caretaking duties, going to school, doing research, or just bumming around. The Training theme type represents the expertise you have acquired in a given field, such as medical training, martial arts, or cooking. Now, let me pull up, because we have some new theme books in Shadows and Showdown. Mythos themes are Conjuration, which is basically summoning. Creating fantastical beings or objects through sorcery, by summoning them from someone's dreams, by constructing them from the environment, etc. Destiny, a prophecy, a curse, an unavoidable duty, a deal you made with the devil. They have a definitely not Ghostwriter thing going on the Destiny page, so if that helps you determine what kind of guy you are. A fate written in the stars, being the chosen one, etc., etc., etc. Enclave, a door that leads to a legendary place, a mythical building disguised as mundane. Basically, a magic hideout. They added the Enclave and the Turf themes basically to give you a base of operations for your character. Turf is kind of the same thing as Enclave, except mundane, a Logos theme instead of Mythos. Now for Mythos, we have Familiar, which is basically a companion character of some kind that you control narratively, but is not, literally your character. So if you got a genie in a bottle or something, or a ghost dog, or Salem, the cat. There's also the new theme, struggle, a life circumstance your character is experiencing as a hardship and coping with. So, those are your Mythos and Logos themes. Now, for the Gatekeeper characters, there are some themes for that as well. Not quite as many as the Mythos and Logos themes, but that's fine. So, the first theme book we have for the Gatekeepers is Shrouding. Changing your appearance, make yourself inconspicuous, erase someone's memories, distract someone at a critical moment, draw more mist to your surroundings. Basically, you can manipulate the mist to change people's perception of reality. The Advanced Art theme book allows you to create technology, take away Mythos powers, etc. Again, manipulate the mist. This is more of an offensive thing. Like, the other thing is manipulate the mist to deceive someone. This is manipulate the mist to affect someone in some way. Turn rifts into sleepers, close enclaves, detect rifts, target senses, read the city like a radar or scanner, know your mythoi, create rifts. So, in some circumstances, you, like, as the gatekeepers, you can use your abilities to create rifts or summon and control mythoi. So the Advanced Art is kind of a free range, like, thing that allows you to manipulate the mist to do anything that is not basically the deception stuff from the Shroud theme book. And then the Unit theme book. The Unit theme book is fun because it's basically a group of gatekeepers you command, an all-purpose field team, a floor of desk jockeys or perchers. Basically, you have your own personal team of gatekeepers you can call in to handle things. And the gatekeeper has some, like, unique player moves. Instead of adding to the character's Mythos or Logos ratings, Mist themes add to the character's Mist rating. So you would replace, basically, your Mythos rating with the Mist rating. A character's Mist rating is equal to the number of Mist themes that you have, which are, again, the Gatekeeper themes. Using your character's Mist rating when making Gatekeeper players means that you roll plus Mist instead of roll plus power. So, like, a good equivalent of this is, in Mythos themes, you have a move called Stop Holding Back, which basically means you can use your Mythos powers beyond what they're supposed to be used for. And there are some consequences for doing this. Like, you could lose entire themes if you push them too hard. But you also get to do something really cool and usually end problems before they begin. I don't know. Playing as gatekeepers is kind of cool. It adds a lot of additional stuff to the game.
Yes,
Nice.
it does. And I think I already have a perfect idea of what I'm gonna give this.
I think I also have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to give my character.
All right, we will let James go first because he's the one making the titular cat.
Absolutely.
All right. So the first type I'm thinking of for this cat would be the Advanced Art Myth, and this one would be the power to steal away rifts, basically take it away.
Okay.
All right, and I think I'm gonna like name the theme like Eyes of Doom, just because if the cat can get the person to look it straight in the eyes, the mythos will close, basically.
Interesting.
Okay. That's what I think. It would be interesting. All right. Just for I guess the purpose, because I can't really do mystery or identity anymore, so it'd be like purpose kind of, and the purpose would be
you would replace mystery. You would replace the mystery and identity with purpose,
and the purpose would be to make sure nothing gets too out of hand.
All right. So, Austin, what is your first theme that you have thought of?
So I'm gonna go with a 3-1 balance. Because like we mentioned, this character is pretty mundane. So I think the one that fits the most perfectly is definitely routine.
Okay.
He just, this character just wants to maintain their job and come home, bum around. So I think routine is the best fitting.
All right. So he's a man who appreciates his routine. I will say, like, it's fine you want to do this. This is something that will come into conflict a lot, simply because the routine is something that, like, if your character doesn't do this, then it immediately puts the thing at risk. Breaking the routine is bad. A lot of people, when they're talking about like if they have a job, if they don't want the job to get in the way, then they do training. But I think with your character, your character wants the job to get in the way.
Yes.
All right, that is perfectly acceptable then.
All right.
James, what is your second theme?
All right, my second theme. Well, actually, it was funny enough. I was gonna have 2 advanced arts, but I realized I could probably just combine that all into one, the save room. So
Yeah, you can't have 2 of the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's why I think. And actually, I think the next thing I was going to do would be what was it? What was it again? Wait, no, advanced arts. Advanced art was to say like radar, so not that. Yeah, I'll just say shrouding. I didn't exactly know what I was going to do yet with it, but I'm thinking something along the lines of erasing someone's memory. Just because, I mean.
All right. I will say, remember that we are trying to be as close to a regular cat here.
True. You're
as
right.
possible.
You're right. Inconspicuous. Isn't that basically like make yourself like just not known or something else, right?
I think you could make an argument for like cats. When they need to, they can be stealthy. Some are not that smart about it, but they do know how to hide.
And this cat's obviously a good hider.
Alright, so I think you could make an argument for, like, you're in the middle of a city, and seeing a cat running around in a city, I don't think is all that uncommon. I think you could make an argument for a theme there called Part of the Scenery or something like that, where, like, people just kind of glance over you if you don't want them to see you.
Yeah, that could work. So basically a city blending. And I guess, what would be the purpose of city blending other than, blend in and not look suspicious? I want to trying to figure out.
Remember the purpose of, like, having a mystery or identity. This is the story hooks for your character. So, when you're describing your purpose with this, try and think of something that gives you a bit of a story hook. Also, you can worry about that later. Let's hop over to Austin. What are you thinking for your second theme? Because that part's technically later on in the process.
Quick question: am I allowed to use a logos from the Shadows and Showdowns one?
Absolutely.
Okay, I think I want to do struggle because while the character wants to, have a routine, I think they would struggle with like too much of the same. You know what I mean? Like this could be loneliness or insecurity, maybe lack of meaning.
All right, and that could be like it's great when you can come up with a way for your logos themes or your mythos themes to be pitted against your other logos or mythos themes, and not just like, oh, my mythos wants something but my logos wants something else. It's like I'm a human being who also would have conflicting interests even if this weird thing never happened to me.
Yes. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with lack of meaning. They like to have their routine, but it doesn't feel fulfilling to them.
Mm-hmm.
They want more, but they don't know how they would reasonably achieve it.
Right. All right. That I think works just fine. So there's notes on creating the concept section, which is kind of what we're going through right now. And your each theme book should have, when you're reading the page for that theme book, should have concept questions basically that'll help with that. And the concept is what kind of helps you determine the title of the theme, etc., etc. So when you're naming these, the naming conventions for these is supposed to be things like you don't just straight up say what the power is. You use things like Eyes of Doom, which does not directly tell you that the Eyes of Doom means if you try and have a staring contest with this cat, you will eventually lose your mythos powers. It just sounds like a cool thing. Or like, again, like, what was the thing I said before? Part of the environment doesn't necessarily tell you that the idea, the high concept of the theme is that you blend in because you look like you're supposed to be there. Wherever you are as a cat, you look like you're supposed to be there. If y'all ever listen to the Misconceptions podcast, there's one character on that show that I'm thinking of right now when I am saying that, who had a theme called Nature is a Friend of Mine, which basically was a plant manipulation power. Anyway, shout out to Misconceptions, who is no longer playing City of Mist. But that's neither here nor there. We are on to let's see, I think James, your third theme, or I see you've typed in unit, so I'm guessing you're going with another gatekeeper.
Yeah, it's gonna be
theme.
3 gatekeepers, 1 logo, or whatever.
That's
the logo is
that
just gonna
works.
be like full on cats, basically. Although the unit's also thing is for unit, basically I'm saying I have an army of cats, but I wonder if I could maybe switch that to turf instead, possibly. I think both might be able to work.
Well, they don't have to be the same theme. Actually, you could have like the alley where your cats like if you have an army of alley cats is what you're saying or something, then you could say, okay, then I have the ability to call upon them at will, but they all hang out in this one alley, which is where we plan our operations and stuff.
Cat alley.
All right, but we'll get to your logos theme in a minute. You can spend some more time thinking about that. So is the unit then just literally like an army of street cats?
Pretty much. Like I kind of want to make like something funny, like when a rift's being sealed, you'll know that it's about to happen when there's a bunch of cats showing up out of nowhere. I think it'd be very weird and funny at the same time. It's all these cats show up and then the person loses their mythos for good.
Yeah, you know what else we could do? Like just the gatekeepers are kind of defined as like the men in gray, not the men in black, the men in gray.
The men in mist.
But we could say in our world, because it's our game and we can do whatever we want, that all the gatekeepers are cats.
Ooh, yes.
And it's just kind of like a known unspoken rule among communities of mythos that you stay away from the cats.
Yes. That works perfectly.
I'm into that. Okay, cool.
So yeah, unit then. Unit.
I'm into that. Okay. Austin, what is your third theme?
Actually kind of struggling with my third theme.
You're doing 3 mythos, right?
3 logos.
3 logos, 1 mythos. Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. The ones I'm currently thinking about are personality. Could mean a lot of things. Defining event sounds okay, but I don't know.
If you're wanting your guy to be like a run-of-the-mill guy who doesn't really have a lot going on, defining event, I guess you could do a defining event to say like why he's not all, like if something happened specifically that made him not ever want to leave his like comfort zone ever again, like no matter how dissatisfied that made him, you could do that. But I think defining events as like a story hook, which is what we're going for here, typically are like traumatic events that make you want to go out and do something, or like are defining traits that make you interesting.
Gotcha.
So I think to round this guy out and make him more interesting, like even if he just remains like this hapless guy who just so happened to be burdened with Loki's glorious purpose, then I don't know, maybe a relationship or
trying to think of what that relationship would be. What relationship could this person have that wants to keep them kind of close? Maybe a child, or
maybe
this person is caring for their child and just wants to stay safe.
That could work.
What was your idea? I think you were about to say something.
I don't know. The thing to remember with all this is you need to be able to get skills that you can use in various situations, or someone you can call upon. So I think a child could be interesting. I'm not even saying it can't be useful. Like the child could have a far more interesting life than you do, and therefore, like when you ask them about something, they can either they will just like surprise you by knowing how to do things you'd never heard of them doing before.
True.
Or you could have training,
Yeah, I was
like you
thinking
have
of
the
training.
you have the routine, and then you have the training. Uh, the only thing is, if you're gonna have a routine and training, you should make sure that the training is not for a thing tied to the routine.
Yeah. So maybe part of this person's routine is going to a martial arts class, or something along those lines.
Maybe, or he could be another guy who has a college education but couldn't get a job in it, so just ended up as a floor worker on a factory and has been there ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that might be a thing that could make him a little more interesting. Is he's actually got like a degree in, I don't know, what would he have a degree in that would make him interesting? I've been to college. That's just full of stuffy nerds.
Degree. What'd be a fun degree for a Loki, say? Damn, that's hard. I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
My French.
Don't worry about it.
Maybe this person has a degree in mythology, and that's why they couldn't find a job in their field. And now they have to deal with an actual god.
So like a liberal arts degree, kind of with a focus in history, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of specifically mythology. I think that would be interesting, and it would give you a reason to be teamed up with a gatekeeper, even though you yourself are a rift.
Yeah.
Because the gatekeeper could use your knowledge of like lore, basically. Your human ability, one of your human abilities is simply you have encyclopedic knowledge that allows you to identify what your the rift of whoever you're targeting could be.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier to use the rift sealing powers.
Yeah. We're just a duo that wants to keep these things out. So
kinda.
Bachelor's degree in mythology.
I think you could like call yourself like a walking encyclopedia or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that would satisfy the training thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, James, time for your logos theme.
All right, now this one I have been thinking on for logo theme is basically just a cat. They need to be a cat, and really the only thing I could see that might be okay would either be something along with mission or routine. That's what it is, routine.
All right, so what's your cat routine?
Let's see. I think the routine, because they're trying to act like a cat. The cat obviously loves seafood and fish, so they go down to the docks, try to get some free fish that the fishermen kindly leave out.
All right.
I think that's our daily routine, followed by an hour of cat nap.
Okay. The only thing I will say is remember that you do have to pull a series of skills out of this. And I'm not saying you can't do that from a trip down to the docks to borrow fish and taking a daily cat nap, but
honestly, you know what, routine, or maybe something along the lines of no one can resist. I have really cute cat eyes and no one can resist.
Sounds like a personality thing, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I was also thinking personality, but I didn't know if it could fit.
I think you could make a personality work. It's kind of like it just is about character traits. And your core character trait is cat.
That's true. Why do I keep doing that? Did I spell that right? Yeah, I did spell that right.
I don't know.
Okay, good. Oh.
All right. Austin, what is your mythos theme?
Ooh, this is the other one I'm kind of flip-flopping between.
Loki can do a lot of stuff. It's kind of hard.
I know, which is why I was thinking adaptation could be really good. Since this character knows a lot about mythology and all of these different, otherworldly things, they're more well they can more easily adapt to their current situation. Plus, Loki has a plethora of
abilities.
abilities at his disposal.
Now here's
the other one.
I have one question for you though, Austin.
Sorry.
Is this the Marvel Cinematic Universe Loki?
Ooh, that's I want to say no.
Okay. Okay. Then we're not gonna play with the Tesseract.
Yeah. No Infinity Stones. The other one, and this one's more just kind of like I think it'd be kind of funny, is Destiny.
All right. What is Loki's destiny?
Could be to become, the ruler of
Asgard.
Asgard. Yeah. Something he is determined to do.
All right. That can work.
Maybe he's trying to fulfill a prophecy, or live up to his family legacy.
All right. I think that could work. Theme books are questionnaires that help you put together the details of each of your character's themes, including power tags, weakness tags, a mystery or an identity, and a title. So we've got all of our theme books. We've got our concepts. We need to start filling out the questions tied to our characters. The first part of that is the mystery or identity, or if you're playing a gatekeeper, then I think it's, what is it called again? Directive, right?
Yeah, it's called directive.
Okay.
Oh, I already kind of filled all this stuff out.
That's fine. It is one of the last things technically on the thing. So first off, we need to make sure we have our concepts down. Think about your character. Each of the theme books kind of has a different description. I'm reading off of the Shrouding one right now, but they all have something kind of similar. More in relation to the theme in question. But let's see, your first theme book is actually Advanced Art, right? So let me skip down to that one and read that one off. Think about your position within the gatekeepers in which advanced art would be most appropriate for you to learn. Are any of the arts an inherent part of your job? If so, what aspect of it did you specialize in? You've kind of already filled out your concept, so we'll
skip that.
Yeah. Which advanced art did you learn? I think you've
Mending.
Described kind of mending. So you learned mending, and why did you learn mending? As part of the training for my role as a... Again, you've kind of already filled out the concept, so we can skip on to the power tag questions. Now, when we're doing power tags, here's the important thing. You have to answer A, but you can answer any of the other ones that you want. And you can take up to 3 power tags to start with. On one theme, you're actually allowed to take 4. However, you have to have 2 weaknesses for that theme, and we'll get into weaknesses later.
Right.
But anyway, so we're starting with advanced arts.
And so A would be what advanced art did you study, which of course for me it'd be mending.
The other questions are, within your advanced art, what did you specialize in?
Sealing riffs.
Sealing human riffs. Okay.
Now, when it says human riffs,
I think
does it mean like human-inspired riffs, or humans who have, a little bit of control over the rift?
Humans. I think it is humans who are riffs. So human beings in the world in the city who are riffs.
Okay, maybe not then, because I don't think Loki counts as human.
But
counts as frostral.
Loki is not a human, but But Austin's character is a human who just so happens to also be Loki. So he's fully human and fully Loki. Technically 1/4 Loki, but still.
1/4 Loki.
I'm a quarter Loki on my dad's side.
I was waiting for that.
Anyway.
Mom's side, surprisingly, Zeus.
Anyway, but his character is a human. So when it says sealing human rifts, it means it actually does mean the human being that the rift is operating through.
Mm.
So your power, if you're sealing rifts by staring at people, by making eye contact, then sealing human rifts is the answer to within your advanced art in what did you specialize.
All right. Yeah, that works.
You can give it your own flavor if you want to, but that description that it gives here is pretty spot on. The other questions are, what theoretical knowledge is useful in your art?
What was that?
I'm reading through the other questions here. What theoretical knowledge is useful in your art? What can you easily accomplish with your art? What feat of your art requires greater skill? What can your art tell you about the mist? What resources are needed for your art? Actually, G might be a good one. Eye contact.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's kind of the description of like, okay, how does this work? We make eye contact.
Come on. There we go.
However, since you described B as ceiling stare, it could be
Kind of both kind of both the same answer pretty much.
they kind of are, but that's fine. They're specific tags. You have your broad tag, then you have your focused tags, and it's fine if you use your specific tags in the same role even. So like you could say, okay, these are kind of how this works. So when I'm doing this, I get double the power on it. And let's move on now to you've already got a directive, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Make sure nothing gets too out of hand.
So the only thing left to do is come up with a weakness. And the questions on weakness are, what is the greatest limit of your art? What conditions diminish the effectiveness of your art? Who or what restricts the use of your art? What negative trait or behavior did you gain while learning your art? I think A, like if you break eye contact, the spell wears off, or
Yeah, so
however
it's
you want
like
to call that.
I was thinking more the lines of even just my cat blinking would ruin a spell.
So like sensory backlash then.
Something like that.
I've got an idea. Okay, so I think it's a little overpowered if simply establishing eye contact alone immediately erases the rift. So it might be good to have a weakness tag that's like, it takes time. So like you have to maintain eye contact for a certain period of time, and maybe the more rooted in our world the rift is, the longer that period of eye contact has to be.
Right. Wouldn't it?
I think that could
I
work.
feel like that worked better with B though. That's the problem.
What conditions diminish the effectiveness? That it's fine. It doesn't matter to me how you want to answer that, but I think, and you don't even have to go with that idea. I'm just thinking like that would be a good way to balance out the power, and it would fit with a few of these questions.
Yeah, it really would. Yeah. All right. So I guess let's see, what would I beat?
A or B make the most sense.
I would go with A and then be like, it requires a tense focus, something like that.
Sustained eye contact, I think, would be a good description of that.
How do you spell that?
Sustained, SUSTAINED.
Woo! Okay.
Now, Austin, what was your first theme again?
Me?
Yes. Your first theme?
My first theme was routine.
Routine. Let me get back down to routine then.
Page 165.
Thank you. Routine. So, concept. Have you written down a concept already?
I believe so, yeah. That's the mystery / identity.
No. Concept is actually, if you look on your character sheet, there's a space, an empty space. Yeah, it kind of is the mystery and identity, but it's not really. That's not what it's for. That the mystery and identity is a story hook. I don't know how else to what better way to describe it. It's kind of like your story hook.
Gotcha.
You just like the concept, I guess. I don't know, I thought you wrote it down, but I guess you don't really write it down other than to come up with a catchy title for the theme.
Here, let me also share my.
Okay.
So you can see what I'm.
All right. So, job as a factory worker is kind of it's a little too descriptive and not much flavor.
Gotcha.
So like when I was talking earlier about like the plant manipulation power was called nature is a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
You need to think along those lines. It's like it could just be called like the daily grind or something.
Run of the mill?
Run of the mill is good.
All right.
So now we move on to the power tags. What do you do with your time? You have to answer that one specifically.
Let's see. The options we have are city official, archaeologist.
You do not have to take something off that list. If you have another high concept that works, that's fine. So like you could say like you're a floor worker, and that would fit the spot just fine.
Okay.
Or even a manager. Maybe he's
Yeah,
maybe
I think manager would be nice because it would fit in with like he wants to maintain the routine because he is, you know, higher up at work, so he like, people rely on him a lot.
I think it also fits in with like the idea that this guy has been here for a while.
Yeah, this person has stuck to their routine, is in it for the long haul, and can't see anything changing.
I like that. What privileges come with the territory of what you do? What sort of tools do you use? You don't have to answer all these questions. I'm just kind of reading them out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Who usually helps you? What did you learn on your daily activities? What specific activity do you engage in as part of your main occupation? What trick have you picked up doing what you do? What quality do you now possess because of your routine? Where do you carry out your routine, or where do you go to escape it? What brings you to the same place every day? Basically, we need to answer 2 of those questions.
Okay.
I think if it's helpful, these are your powers. So think of aspects of these that you can play up as strengths.
Gotcha. Oh, there was one here that I saw those.
If you're a manager, then what privileges come with the territory of what you do? Maybe an air of authority?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Something that this person would look like they know what they are doing, and they kind of give you that sense of like that sense of awe, like when you trying to think of a good way to describe it. Like for college students, you're meeting with your professor and you know like, okay, this person knows what they are doing, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be where they are.
So like he's basically the kind of guy that like you hear about people talking about, like if you go out in a bright vest holding a clipboard, no one will question whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty good. So that would be B, and then it's some, you could just call it air of authority, or you could come up with a cool flavor text for it. It's less important to have a cool flavor thing for the power tags. It's actually better sometimes if they are more descriptive. You want some broad ones, you want a lot that are just kind of descriptive. And then we need one more.
What brings you to the same place every day is easily answerable, but I don't think wouldn't provide anything useful. Because like commitment to the job, obviously this person is committed to their job. But what really? So let's see.
What about H? What quality do you possess because of your routine? People depend on me.
Yeah, I think that could be a really good one. Same thing as like the calm and the storm here as well works as well. So let's answer that. I think dependable is good because we would want to assume Loki is trying to depend on me, and he believes he can to an extent.
Well, remember, as far as you're concerned, you are Loki.
Ah, okay.
That's kind of how the rift thing works. It's not just that he's working through you. As far as you're concerned, he is you.
How many questions have you answered so far with this?
This will be...
Alright, this will be 3. Okay, cool.
Looks harmless is also really good. Although I don't feel like that would fit with air of authority.
No,
probably not.
Yeah.
Have you seen the judge? They ain't harmless.
What was the thing you said, Joel?
I was talking about H, and it was like something along the lines of dependability.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think my exact phrase was people depend on me, but that's more of a theme name than a tag.
Yeah. So I'm just going to put dependable.
Okay. Now, James, your second theme was...
City blending.
Are we doing weaknesses for me as well?
Oh yeah, we do need to do your weaknesses.
I was curious, like,
My
okay,
bad.
we're going to me, but weakness, question mark?
Alright, so your weakness questions are, at the end of the day, what are you left with? What are the mundane limits or downsides of your routine? Who or what can interfere with your routine? What happens when you are thrown out of routine?
I can easily answer A, a headache. Am I right, workers? Headache after work.
Absolutely.
Anyway, what are you thinking?
I would like to answer either A or D. Because I feel like at the end of the day, this person is left being all alone. Which is why they're going through, their struggle with lack of meaning. Um, could also be what happens when you're thrown out of your routine, which is no idea what I want fits really well with the struggle as well.
Yeah, that is a pretty good match for that.
I think I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Now, sorry. Sorry about that. James,
Good.
Let's get back to your, what did you call it? City blending, which is a shrouding theme.
Yep. I need to go back
Shrouding
real quick
theme.
so I can get there. Okay.
Page 239, it looks like, is where we need to start. You've already come up with a directive for this one as well, right? All right, now, what type of shrouding did you learn?
I guess it probably would be called shrouding.
Again,
I learned how to shroud from shrouding.
You don't necessarily need to take one of the examples given.
Yeah.
I think, though, if you wanted to, street shrouding or public shrouding would fit, since the idea here is that people kind of look over you when you are just out on the street. When you're out in public, you're out on the street, people look over you because in certain areas, cats just kind of look like part of the environment.
That's true. Yeah, I think public shrouding would definitely be it. I'm trying to see if I can think of a good spin for it.
Give it some
Yeah, I'm
flavor.
trying to see if I can give it some flavor.
All right.
Maybe we just call it City Cat. City Cat. Cat
City
with a
cat.
K though.
Okay. You're right to do that. Now, how would you characterize your style of shrouding? What specific shrouding trick did you first learn? What is your best shrouding skill? What is your shrouding focus? Which standard issue item do you most often use?
Alright, well, we're going to scratch out F because we don't use an item.
Okay. Which mist tech ward do you employ most? What did experience on the job teach you? What is your attitude or feelings about using the mist? Which advanced art skill have you been dabbling with? You already have an advanced art class, so I don't know. Unless you want
to think I need to do J.
You could, and that would give you another one of like the high concepts for advanced art on your shroud theme. But again, I think you're right. You probably shouldn't start with that one.
I'm thinking what I could do is answer C, and then it'll be something along the lines of mask myself as another kind of thing. Something.
I think what we're going with here actually fits more with like make everyone ignore my presence.
Where's that one?
It's right after mask myself as another.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that does make more sense. Make everyone ignore my presence.
Okay. And again, you can kind of give that some flavor, but that's kind of the idea we're going behind here.
I'm a cat, nothing more.
I like it.
All right, let's see.
Now, what is your best shrouding skill or focus, or what are the other questions? I just read them a minute
we got
ago.
shrouding skill, we got focus. I don't think we're gonna do tech ward or items because that's not really needed. I don't think I'm gonna do experience either.
You sure you don't want to have a cat with a newspaper?
Joel, as funny and great funny it could be, I would love to watch a cat read a newspaper so much. Since I'm making a literal cat here, and I don't know if cats can even process a newspaper or can't do it.
If you have a class ability that makes it possible, you can't. Did we ever read the rules at the beginning of the stream for cat creation?
Oh, we did not.
Oof.
Oh no, guys. Okay, sorry. I need to explain this to y'all real quick. Normally I'll do this at the beginning, I promise. So the rules. We accept no cop-outs. No, I'll leave it in here. It's fine. We accept no cop-outs. We're making a cat. The exact animal that comes to mind when I say the word. It's not an anthropomorphic race, not a person turned into a cat, not a lion, a tiger, definitely not a bear, definitely not any other cop-out you can imagine.
Do they consider cop-out, though? Because technically they are cats. They are at least what cats descended from.
If it's a lion, it's not a house cat.
Okay, fair point.
If you would not imagine if guys out there, if you have a lion as a house cat, you terrify me. Also, don't at me. for multiple reasons.
You could probably get a show on Netflix.
Yeah. Or a page in the some Discovery thing or whatever.
Exactly. But don't at me, because you terrify me. Rule number 2. Homebrew isn't real. If the rules do not explicitly allow something to happen, it counts as a rule broken. I don't actually think we've had to break any rules. There's technically... The idea is that you are playing as a human. So I guess you could say, like, rules as intended are you play as a human. So, and I do say, if we come across a rules as written versus rules as intended, we go with whichever one says no. So I think technically we're breaking the rules by playing as a cat in this case. I think that's the only rule we're breaking. But
I mean, it's city of mist. There's a lot of creativity.
Yeah, because like if you have a animal rift, it's supposed to be the familiar theme book. It's tied into a character. It's not its own character. But anyway, so technically, I think that's the only rule we've broken. The only rule we're going to break. Anyway, if the game includes stats for a literal cat, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet. This game does not have any pre-made stat blocks, except for as examples or the pre-generated character sheets, none of which are a cat. There's not even a danger thing for cats, as far as I know. If the game doesn't come up with a stat block, we have to adapt them from a game that does, if applicable. So like if we're playing StarCraft and we know that Starfinder, and we know Pathfinder has a cat, then I used this example the last time I did this, didn't I? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a good example. If we're playing Starfinder doesn't probably have cats, but Pathfinder does have a cat stat block. So for Starfinder, we would use the cat block from Pathfinder. Rule number 4. The character class, background, playbook, or job has to exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion. We cannot use homebrew classes because homebrew doesn't exist. Number 5. The cat can learn any skill available to its class. For instance, the cat can be allowed to speak, but only if an argument could be made that a certain class skill makes it possible. So, I guess technically, shrouding might make it so that a cat could disguise its meows as human speech, like if you really wanted to do that, but it's kind of outside the theme concept that you've got going. If a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even if comically downsized for them, they cannot use it. So I guess, speaking in that terms, a cat probably can't read a newspaper.
And I didn't have plans on making my cat, talk any meow.
Alright.
Like, it can think for itself like if it was a human, but it just meow.
That's all fine. I was mostly joking about the newspaper thing.
I know you
anyway,
were, but it
does
funny,
bring
though.
up a good... Yeah. It did bring up a good point, and I'm glad we got to this. Anyway, so, you do have some other standard issue items that you could use, though. For instance, the Fedora Absentia. You're just a cat wearing a fedora.
No. No. Bad. No.
Oh.
No one should be subjected to wear a fedora, unless it actually fits with the uniform, but even then, that's an if.
I mean, the men in gray... They wear gray suits, sunglasses, and a fedora. That's their whole deal.
Maybe I should become head honcho so I can change the wardrobe to something more fun. Alright, anyways, jokes aside, that's me for another time.
The idea here is, I think the best things we can do is what is your shrouding skill, what is your shrouding focus, or what did on the job experience teach you?
Alright, so anyways, I'm thinking what I could do. Where's my character sheet right now? Alright, so let's see, I answered A and C, so I'm not going to answer those. I'm trying to decide between skill and focus.
And the focus is kind of, think in terms of like a magic focus, so like the wand or crystal ball or magic staff that a wizard would use, but it's something that a cat has.
You know what? Interesting. Now that I think about item a cat has, maybe like I could actually answer F instead, standard issue. It would be a collar that kind of just makes people seem the cat.
I think that's not part of the standard issue gear. The standard issue gear is listed on page
Oh, okay.
213
Never mind
of
then.
Shadows and
But
Showdowns.
that would be interesting, though.
It's an that's an established
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Like we've got the newspaper, the Fedora Absentia, the blanket bomb,
Beacon.
the shrouding sidearm, the mist beacon, and the some other standardized auxiliary wards.
Oh, anyways, well, then this will be a little bit tricky then.
But you could say that your shrouding
Would be on the
focus
collar.
is a collar. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So you could say you have a collar, and that collar is your focus.
Let's see.
Hey, question. Do your power tag question thing spell out ACE?
Yes, it does.
Ace.
Hey!
This cat
Ace!
This cat
An ace. Is an ace!
Anyway.
It should be COLLAR, right? Collar?
COLLAR.
Oh, two L's?
Two L's.
Okay.
I think there's two.
That still doesn't look right, but
It's fine. Weaknesses.
yes.
What is flawed in your shrouding technique? For which situations did your training fail to prepare you? What personal traits get in the way of your work? What is most dangerous or challenging about your work? Now, I have an idea here. You don't have to use it, but what is flawed in your for which situations did your training fail to prepare you for? Cat enthusiasts.
Actually, it's funny enough. I had a similar idea, but instead it was answering C. What gets in the way? Cat enthusiast. So we're kind of on the same page here. I'm not gonna lie, I was totally on that vibe.
So the idea is that you're an adorable little kitty, and humans who are very into cats would not be fooled by your disguise, which isn't really a disguise. No. You are. No,
they still think of me as a cat, but it's getting in my way. Like, say I'm pursuing someone, they just come up and just start, petting me or whatever. Then I kind of have to I enjoy it, stay.
Like if the idea is you use your powers to make sure people's eyes roll off you, but if someone's really into cats, they see through the thing.
Yes, they basically see me and if they can catch me, will definitely stop me in the tracks. That's why I kind of want to answer it as C.
All right, that makes sense. I'm into it either way. Now you already have a directive for this one, so we will move on to Austin over here.
Yeah, that's not how you spell it.
Austin, what is your? Oh, you've been filling out your stuff.
Yeah, I've been looking through some stuff. We can go through and change, but these are just the idea.
Oh, that's fine. Why don't you tell us kind of what questions you've been answering for your themes?
Okay, so currently with struggle, which I have done my flavor text as glorious purpose. I went with despite the hardship, what is the best thing of this outcome? And I chose stability. This person has a stable life, stable job, despite not getting out there and making more of themselves. They are able to keep things intact in their own life. They have some control over.
Right.
And then I went with F, which is what skill, ability, or habit do you need to deal with your struggle? And I really like the white lies thing, because I think that fits in with being Loki. He tells people, they ask, oh, what did you do last night? It's oh, I went out to go see a movie and totally didn't stay at home binging Netflix.
All right, I'm into it. And what is... I saw the thing was J, which is...
Yes. J is what gives you hope that your struggle will end. And I think with the air of authority that I have, I'm very noticeable. This character is very noticeable in a crowd of people. So
all right,
people will take a second glance, or look at this person and be like, this person knows what's about.
Okay, this is a guy who he stands out in a crowd, kind of. Yes. Which maybe is not something that he is appreciative of, but it does give. But at the same time, it does kind of give him hope that, like, okay, maybe it is possible to escape this monotony at some point.
Exactly. Got exactly what I was going for. I did not pick weaknesses yet, though, so we can kind of toy around with that.
All right, well, let's go over your weakness then.
Okay, so the questions we have here are: how does your struggle affect your everyday life? How does your struggle make you feel? What does a bad day look like? Or what makes your struggle worse?
All right. And so what do you have any thoughts on this?
Currently, thinking, how does your struggle make you feel? So the struggle, it feels like they're trapped. When in reality, they could go off and kind of, do whatever, make their own situation better. But the feeling of being trapped is, kind of too much to bear sometimes.
All right. I think that could work. I think you could like play that up as like they feel insecure about their abilities. So
Yeah.
like when they are outside of their comfort zone, which is work, you could say like, okay, do I deserve to be here or something? Do I deserve to be doing this? Is there like I
Kind of like an imposter syndrome.
kind of, yeah. Like I think it's important to remember this is a smart guy. He kind of has an air of authority about him, but he's very insecure outside of his comfort zone.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of a way to word this. I mean, insecure would just be straight and to the point.
Yeah. I think imposter syndrome may also fit here because again, if the reason for the insecurity is like, do I deserve to be doing this, then that like if you got some other reason for him to be insecure, but kind of based off what you were saying, I think imposter syndrome works.
I think that's probably the best option.
All right. And I see you've also filled out walking encyclopedia, so let's just go ahead and do that one and then we'll get back over to the cat.
Okay. Um
Oh yeah, wait, one more thing. You filled out a mystery or identity for glorious purpose here.
yes. Which is, they want to be more, they want to do more, but they don't know how to achieve it.
All right.
Which is where the
Oh,
imposter syndrome kind of comes in.
okay. I see this on Run of the Mill too, and I kind of want to point this out. Like, for identities, it makes the most sense for the way this works if you kind of phrase this as an I statement. So like, I want to be more, but don't know how to achieve it.
Ah, gotcha.
Or like, I want to maintain some normalcy. For like the run of the mill thing. Like if you look at the thing on the playing solitaire struggle sample theme down one page below, then you have like no one likes me and I can't blame them as the struggle.
Gotcha.
Kind of it's an I statement. it's it's me talking about myself. So anyway, we were looking next at your training, which was walking encyclopedia.
Correct. So the questions. Sorry,
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just like the way on your character sheet that you filled that out, where it has like top row I have a, and then bottom row bachelor's degree in mythology. You know that picture of like Robert Downey Jr. where in black and white, where he's kind of got like his mouth open, like he's a little surprised,
Uh-huh.
and people. And people fill that in with like, there are FBI agents outside my house or things like that. I kind of imagine the I have a as the top text, as the top text, and bachelor's degree in mythology as the bottom text.
All right. It works,
Y'all, we all should play
Oh.
Make a Meme sometime.
Boy, I am putting that meme out as advertisement for this episode on Twitter.com.
Oh, gosh.
Absolutely. Okay. So the power tag questions I have is: what do you know, or what do you do or know best? This person knows reality over fiction. They're very grounded in reality, but they love to learn about the fiction and the mythology they have, gained knowledge of over the years.
Okay.
The second one I've done is F, which is name a teacher, trainer, or fellow trainee that you can rely on for help in this field. And I just made up a name for a professor, so Mrs. Lenoth, which would be like, say this person goes to like alumni meetings and stuff, or keeps in contact with one of their old professors, and it's like Hey, Miss Lenoth, so what would you do if Loki was trying to command your life? Like,
So
what's,
someone you could kind of bounce questions off of in a investigation.
yeah. So like, hey, what's that myth where they have a house made of candy or
Mm-hmm.
um stuff
And
like
like, if
that.
you don't know it off the top of your head, she might.
Exactly. And then the last one I have picked is Jay. What unusual new application of your training are you exploring? And this would be managing mythos, which is the application of like, okay, I know all of this stuff that doesn't really have a real world application, but now all of a sudden it does, and I have to worry about how to manage between the reality of the situation and how to get out of them.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
think that works. And now for weaknesses.
so our weakness questions for this tag are: A, what is the most problematic flaw in your technique? B, how did your training adversely affect your physique or body? C, who is after you due to your prominence in the field? Or D, name a flaw unique to a specific move or method you described in your power tag.
Are you prominent in your field?
Hmm. I don't. That could be good. I could be prominent in the field. Think of like maybe part of their routine is going on forums after work and discussing different mythos.
So maybe you have an online reputation, and as a result of that online reputation, maybe a cyber stalker.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there another one though that you like better, or
Hmm.
like that just stood out to me because I was thinking like, how would you be prominent in your field? Like I know that's a thing that is supposed to be able to come with the training, but
Hmm. I think that's honestly the only one that fits because I don't think training your mind would adversely affect your physique or body.
well, that's a
Um,
psyche, not physique.
oh, psyche. Whoops.
So
Um,
like your mind or
Your
body.
soul. Be like a
Gotcha.
character in Soul Eater.
But no, I like the idea of having like, despite feeling like nobody notices or there is this imposter syndrome, there are still people that look up to my character.
Maybe.
So
And
much
I think
so.
the idea of the weakness here though is like maybe one of those people is looking up to him in a bad way.
Exactly. So we can go with that.
All right.
So cyber stalker, cyber
Yeah.
chase.
All right. And with that in mind, let's go back over to the cat where so we can finish up
Unit.
the cat. Yeah, unit.
Alright, so I went with the.
Army of cats is the kind of theme
Yep,
concept here.
and we come when we are truly needed. Will be the bird.
So you've come up with a directive for yourself already. Very nice. Let me get back down to unit.
I know we're a little late, but do you like
This is
do you
always go
like
to
what I
advance.
did for Cat? I know you love
Nope, nope,
isekais.
that's a cop.
Oh my god.
Nope, nope, that's a cop out. This cannot be a human
I
reincarnated as a
know,
cat.
but
It's a
if I
cat.
knew you love your isekai so much, I had to put it in there.
I'm not really a fan
Exactly.
of isekais, other than Legends
Exactly the
Arceus.
point.
Other than Legends Arceus and ReZero.
That is exactly the point why
You
I
think
put it in
the-
there. I know you're not a fan of isekais.
You think the main character of Legend Arceus got truck cooned?
I have no idea
that
what that means.
You guys don't know about the infamous isekai truck?
Oh,
I don't. I'm
Just
actually in the
like-
dark on this one.
okay. Basically, an uncomfortably large number of isekai start with a guy getting run over by a truck.
You know what?
It's
what?
It's always the same truck.
You know what? That's actually true because Country Rolls, there's like nothing but isekais on Country Roll, and let me tell you, a lot of them have been got hit by a truck. Anyways, we should go
Anyway.
ahead and get to the power tags.
Yeah. So about the concept, we've got that under control. What is your unit's role?
All right. Now this one I do kind of struggle with, but the kind of role.
I think they could provide you with
Oh.
like they could be an information network or something. Like you are a cat, you speak cat, you can get information from other cats.
Yeah, but that's like that could be answered in another question though.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what are you thinking then?
like the main roles for A would be basically to make everyone forget. Like as you know, as you see, there's a whole bunch of cats just surrounding one character, and then of course the main cat, which would be my cat, does the official sealing. Then afterwards, we all disperse, and no one remembers anything. I don't know what I'm saying. So,
If that's how you want to play it.
so for A, forget me. Wait, no. I'm trying to put a
Forget about it.
forget about it. Yeah, you know what? This is
Forget
a city.
about
You know
it.
what? You know what? It's a city. I don't know how the Yorkies actually spell it, but yeah, you're right. That's a city. This is great.
I'm sorry, did you just call them Yorkies?
Call them the Yorkies.
Like the dog?
I call them Yorkies out of the peppermint patties.
That's a dog.
A Yorkie is a dog, but also
Like
a
my
peppermint
aunt.
patty.
Oh, okay then.
Oh.
Wait, are you thinking of York peppermint patties?
Yeah, I call it Yorkies. Don't
Okay.
ask why. I just do. I feel like it's better called Yorkies than York.
Yes, don't feed a Yorkie to your Yorkie. It's just a bad time.
Anyway, so we've got the other questions to answer here. How many are in your unit, and how does it help you work? Who can you most rely on in your unit? Who else is an asset to the team? What intel sources does your unit have? What kind of equipment does your unit use most often? Where is your unit's base of operations? What tactic does your unit commonly employ? How do you manage this unit? What or who is the wild card in your unit?
All right, so actually, E is actually kind of the next answer I would like to go in for, and that would be like something along the lines of word on the street, basically.
Okay, so the cats can be anywhere and everywhere, hear and see anything. I'm into it.
Let's see if I can answer C.
I think word.
I'm just kidding. I'm not answering C.
I think word on the street is a better description of that phenomenon.
So just do word on the street.
Yeah. Like you're working with street cats and alley cats. They get their information on the street.
Right.
I know you were kind of thinking of a turf theme earlier for your logos, but scrap that idea. You have the opportunity here to create a base of operations anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I might be able to make 4 for this one, actually.
You're thinking of doing 4 power tags,
yes.
2 weaknesses?
All right. So the base of operations, it will be a location in the city known as Cat Alleyway. That's where a lot of cats gather to exchange informations and all that. Okay. I feel like in the city they kind of like work their shifts. So, anyways, G. That's G.
So Cat Alley.
And actually, I do kind of want to do one more now that this is interesting. But
okay,
I'm thinking of adding a wild.
Ooh.
Yes, there is one crazy cat.
Randy the Rabbit.
Randy the Rabbit. Oh, Rabid. But I'll say
He's just got rabies.
Yeah. A
Randy
rabies cat.
Rabbit
It won't attack, but
oh, if he's Rabbit, he would attack.
Okay.
Is the thing.
You know what? That's true.
Unless he doesn't actually have rabies, he just kind of acts like he has rabies.
Honestly, I
That's the wild card that could make them remember you.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually thinking of. Actually, that does make sense. Like, he kind of just pretends, like, it kind of acts like that way, but doesn't really have it. But honestly, having the wild card attack because it has rabies is actually kind of funny, honestly. Although I feel like that'd be more of like a weakness too.
Well, you do have 2 weaknesses coming up.
Yeah, so I might make that one. All right, so the wild card. Hold on. What was it again? It was J.
Are you actually gonna name it Randy the Rabbit?
I don't got a better name.
Okay.
Is it 2B or 1B?
It's 1B for Rabid.
It's ID, right? Yeah, Rabid. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Now we go for the weaknesses. Now I need to think of 2 here. Okay.
Yep. What issues plague teamwork in your unit? What limits or needs to be improved in your unit's work? What do your unit members complain about most? What is your unit untrained or unprepared for? 2 of these could be also answered by Randy the Rabbit.
Yeah, pretty much. I was A. I was as soon as I saw A, I was like, Randy the Rabbit.
I think you could answer Randy the Rabbit for both A and C.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do we feel like more? For like it should be an issue plagued in teamwork or something that the unit members complain about the most? Like I don't know. I don't know which one would be more funnier. Which would be more funnier? Having it being a plague or just complaining?
I think if the idea is he's not actually Rabbit, he just acts like that and he just always goes off script, then it's very hard to form a plan around him unless you're literally planning for him to go off script and just don't tell him the real plan.
No, we tell him the real plan, but he goes out off script anyways.
Okay, I think that would be an A. It's an issue that plagues teamwork, but it's not necessarily something everyone complains about all the time.
Right, alright.
It's a flaw in execution, more than anything.
Yeah, flaw in execution. I don't know, should I say, Randy goes wild?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Geese. Randy goes wild. Alright, so I'm thinking... D would be funny. Would be kind of funny, and like, say they can't handle like too many awakenings at once. Like, say a mythos actually like able to awaken other mythos.
I was thinking, like, aside from maybe Randy the Rabbit, the unit as a whole is not a combat unit.
Yeah, that's true. We're not really designed for combat. We're more designed for clearing, sealing, and cleaning.
Yeah, you guys are like the cleanup crew that comes after the destruction has been caused.
Honestly, I feel like now we're the cleanup crew that comes before the destruction. We don't fight. We just clean. Bam. No more destruction. Give us turn talking.
All right.
And then be on our way. All right. Okay. So, anyways,
I think you could say there a bunch of wusses. The actual thing on D.
Yeah. Or if we're going with cat puns, a bunch of pussies. There are cats.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I'll
fair.
allow it. We're not trying to restrict this to a child-friendly audience.
Is it? Do you think it'd be IES or YS?
It's
IES.
IES.
Okay, making sure.
All right, and before we finish off the cat that we all came here to see, let's get back over to the cat that's not actually a cat. By which I mean Austin's character.
Right. So for my last one, chose Destiny.
Right.
So Loki's
one or
kinda,
two.
Bound by duty is what I have as the flavor text.
Right, but did you choose Destiny 1 or 2?
2 of them.
Yeah. Even though Destiny 1 was supposed to like last for like 10 years, they ended up putting out Destiny 2 like something like 5 years after it.
I don't know which one this is.
I
I'm
thought
using
that
the
would
one
be
from
funnier. I'm sorry.
We're like referencing the games or something.
Oh, you were talking about the game.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait,
Oh,
is he
my-
going off the games, or is there really a Destiny 2?
Destiny 2. How did I not get that? That's like my favorite.
See, I
series.
got that, but I was also confused. Like, maybe it's not.
That's why
I thought. Well, I thought I don't know the game, so I thought you would be.
I don't
serious.
know the story
I was
of the
did they
game,
put
but
a
I know the game
A
exists.
Destiny 2, and I was like,
I'm
did they put
sorry,
a
I thought
Destiny
you
2
would get it
in
right
this?
away.
At least you know I kind of
Okay,
got
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but then also doubted myself for it.
No, I was full on thinking like I was like, they put a second one in City of Mist.
No, City of Mist isn't even 10 years old. I think it came out in 2018. It's not even 5 yet.
Oh man. But yeah, no. This is just Destiny. Base game, no expansions.
Technically, this is an expansion.
I was about to say, although
class.
this is the expansion pack.
Anyway,
so
what's your concept?
So my concept is kind of, I don't know. I don't really have one in terms of like what I would want the Destiny to be.
I kind of see you've written down here under mystery and identity, and we'll need to change that.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a minute. But it's like you've kind of got like, what do you say? Loki wants to. I can barely read this. Loki wants to live up to
And take a
family
spot-
expectations and
Take a
take
spot in
on.
Asgard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he said.
I can read it just fine.
I'm getting blurry results, but that's fine.
I think it might be time for glasses.
As long as you can read your own writing. No, I think it's time for better internet.
That could work too.
Maybe.
Anyway, so what is most useful about your Destiny? I think if we're going off what I think you're going with, destined to rule is a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like, he's destined to have a spot in Asgard, but how he gets there is questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with that.
Just like Marvel's Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's not what we're going for, I don't think.
It
No.
would be funny if we did, though.
So let's see what other questions.
Before we
have
continue,
here.
if you went with the
Yeah.
Marvel Universe Loki, this would be season 2 of the series Loki. Loki as a cat partner.
Yeah. Loki has a cat variant of himself just next to him the whole time.
Yes.
I mean, we do have alligator Loki,
I know,
so why
right?
not?
Yeah.
Anyways, go on.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the other questions are: who or what was your mythos before its destiny manifested? What trait or emotion led you to your destiny or emerged from it? What immunity or protection does your destiny grant you? How did you learn to live with your destiny? Who or what helped you manifest your destiny? What item do you possess that is tied to your destiny? How can you direct your destiny or part of it to someone else? How can you hasten your destiny or escape it? What ability or power did you reveal when your destiny unfolded?
I think we could do something with J. What ability or power did you reveal when your destiny unfolded? I don't think Loki would hesitate to assert his authority.
Oh, absolutely.
Nope.
So I think that would be like, I know you've got weaknesses that would go against this, but I think it would be interesting if like you the human would fight it, but Loki would like whenever your power leaks out, like Loki would have no problem just telling strangers what to do, even if they were not under like his direct control, because everyone's under Loki's control,
Mhm.
according to Loki.
Okay, so controlling or
Like what I'm thinking is like not I don't think it would be like controlling. It would be like no hesitation to assert your authority.
got you. Okay.
I don't know how you phrase that in a short, pithy like power tag way, but
Um,
and you don't even have to do that if you don't want to, but like
trying to think of like maybe like an insightful impact, or kind of like manipulation, I guess.
maybe. I'm really just thinking like the thing that's most important to me is like he doesn't hesitate to act. He doesn't hesitate to do the thing. So like if it was me doing this, I would say no hesitation, but like you could say that as like a the power of manipulation.
Gotcha. Or like a go-getter, you know.
A go-getter is good.
There we go. Let's what immunity or protection does your destiny grant you? I think that's good. A good idea because you could argue, you know, Loki can only be killed by another god.
Okay. So maybe it's like divine protection.
That concept sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Like a god can only be killed by another god, but where is that from?
That's from Percy Jackson and the
Is that-
Olympians.
No, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Although I'm thinking like it was expressed different.
No, in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, it was literally like demigods could fight against gods. They had weapons that could injure gods, but they could not deal a fatal blow to a god.
Yeah, they would need help from another actual god
Ah,
to deal some substantial damage.
gotcha. Okay.
And they actually played this out in one of the I forget what Jason's series it was called, but like the one where they introduced the concept of Roman gods as like the dual nature of the Greek gods.
Yeah,
that had their own camp and whatnot.
Yeah,
or like
the Heroes of Olympus series.
Yeah, that's what it was called. But like there was a point in like one of those books where Dionysius came in and killed two gods, but like he was supposed to be helping them the entire time, but only showed up after the demigods had subdued the two gods they were fighting.
Yeah.
All right, I see it.
Classic. Okay, so weakness though, or weaknesses. We've got what doom or demise does destiny have in store for you? What personality flaw led to your destiny? How does your impending destiny negatively affect your life? What evil is drawn to you because of your? Ooh, really like that
Ooh,
last.
that last one would fit Loki perfectly.
Yeah, just like others who seek the same power. Maybe there are other gods who believe that they're worthy of the spot in Asgard and not Loki.
All right, I'm into it.
So maybe it could be like, maybe he's being hunted down.
Okay.
Hunted, or
contenders for the throne, maybe.
that sounds really good.
And with that out of the way, let's get back to the main event, the cat. And the theme that we are filling out is cat, the personality trait of being a cat.
In the identity, I want to be funny. Meow, 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 meow. I'm a cute cat.
Oh, wait. We're not quite done with the Destiny theme yet, are we? Because we need a mystery for this.
Oh,
and the mystery is a little
right.
different than the identities. Mythos themes, rather than come with an identity, which is how Logos themes work, which is how we get those I statements, you have to come up with a burning question that your human character once answered about. It can be about the mythos, it can be generally about anything, but the idea is it's either a question about the mythos itself or a way you're going to use the mythos to get the question answered.
So I think a good question, although I don't know if it would work with the way the game works, does the mythos choose the logos, or are they automatically attached? Like, did Loki choose this person?
Again, like, kind of the way the game works is Loki is this person. Okay. There's something about this person that the mythos of Loki identified with so much that they became one.
So the burning question I could think would be like, why me? Like, what attached us?
I don't know that really...
Yeah.
Because again, as soon as you know that you are Loki, like as soon as you become a Rift of Loki, you know that you are Loki. You understand why you're Loki. It's just you have other obligations in your life that prevent you from just outright being Loki. But since this is your destiny, and Loki's insistence that he should rule from the throne of Asgard, you might need to figure out what the throne of Asgard is in your world.
Ooh, that is a good one. I like that a lot. So, where's the throne, or
I'd say what?
Where /
What and where, maybe.
Yeah. Where / what is the throne?
All right. And now I think, for real this time, let's finish the cat.
Meow.
All right.
Meow, 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 meow. I'm a cute cat. Okay. You know what? I'll allow
It's a cat. This is cat. Honestly, I was gonna make the joke and make everything meow, so no one really knows. But I think it'd be a hilarious joke. But I'll be serious here.
What lies at the core of your personality?
Oh, I mean, obviously the core personality is I'm a freaking cat.
That's kind of an appearance thing, which I'm not gonna tell you no, you can't do that.
Sure,
but like, cats kind of come in like categories, kind of like you have types of guys. There's types of cats. You got your sorry, what?
Dumb joke, but I'll repeat it. I said, I get it. Categories.
Oh, we have cat puns.
We have far exceeded the cat pun limit for this episode already.
All right, we'll tone it down.
Don't tone it down. Keep going.
Anyway. Anyway. So like you've got your shy cats, you got your angry cats, you got your friendly cats, you got your
overweight cats.
Yeah, kind of. You got your demanding kind of cats who want everything done for them.
I think I would be more of a friendly cat.
Well, I mean, they can be friendly. They can be more than one type of cat at once. But
how would you categorize that, though?
I don't know. I'm just saying you should probably come up with like, what is your cat's like? What type of cat is it? Like, how does it behave around other cats and people?
Well, actually, funny enough, kind of like Puss in Boots.
Very loud and proud.
Loud and proud, and also the cutest eyes ever that you just can never see. You can never say no to those eyes. And if you do, you are a heartless monster.
All right, so kind of like I don't know.
I don't know
to,
how
like,
to describe it either.
feisty but friendly.
You know what? We'll go with it because we don't need to see chameleons. I was looking up to make sure I spelled chameleon right.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Anyways,
Anyway, I don't know. Feisty but friendly.
feisty, friendly neighborhood cat.
Yeah, remember you got to fit it on that one line. The boxes do not
How do
expand.
you spell feisty? F-I...
Feisty.
Okay, so I got the E and I. Friendly.
That darn E and I rule.
I hate the E and I
Yeah.
rule so much.
It doesn't even work for most words with the
I know,
EI.
right?
It's the worst. Actual worst.
All right. So
What is the first thing people
so actually,
notice
this
about
one
you?
might also be a 4 question, like a 4 power tag thing.
You can only have one power tag
Oh,
character.
Mm.
Oh,
A
well,
theme.
that sucks.
You can't have. I know when you're starting out though, you're only allowed to have the one theme that has 2 weaknesses and 4
right.
tags.
Okay.
Yeah, no one cat should have all that power.
Yeah, and plus I don't want to get rid of Randy the Rabbit. That's too good. All right, so the first thing people would notice would be the cute cat eyes.
Those
The
big
cute
brown
cat
eyes. Okay, that works
One
too.
more. What skills?
What when you want, you can also come across as what special skill or status do you pursue because of your personality? What aspect of your personality keeps you safe or helps you resist influence? What quality or item best expresses your personal style or enhances it? What useful habit or routine have you cultivated thanks to your personality? What typically interests you? How do you strive to improve yourself? J is not applicable to this
No, it is not.
character.
No,
It's
it
a
is
cat.
I think hold on, go up a little bit more.
Yeah, I
James.
gotcha.
I think F, what aspect of your personality keeps you safe or helps you resist influence? You know, I feel like most people wouldn't want to harm a cat unless they're a monster.
Right.
So I think that would keep you safe.
Just paste in the entire text from that one meme. You wouldn't have beef with me, just a silly little guy or whatever.
I'm just a silly little guy.
Well, I could do F, but I'm also trying to think about what can I do for like C. Because I mean, if I make it like a Puss in Boots, I basically get what I want to say.
Maybe you have access to a lot of information because you handle this group of cats.
No, that would be that's kind of a perk of a separate theme.
Ah, okay.
This is just like, as a cat, what do I don't know. I get my way could be a good answer for C.
I'm just trying to make sure that's not maybe like something for something else real quick. C. Yeah, I think we'll do C. I get my way. I just want ABC as my final.
That's fine. Sometimes it works out like that. Now, on to the weaknesses. What happens when you let yourself go too far? What sort of people or conditions make your personality less effective? What aspect of your appearance, style, or physique can get in the way? What happens when you are pushed to the corner?
Actually,
all right, so C, I'm basically very small.
I was actually gonna say, like, you know how cats can be extremely lazy at times too. So I was thinking more like a B, the personality of a cat. You know, I'm kind of even like lazier too.
Need a cat nap.
Like need a cat nap, basically.
All right, you could do that. I still like the idea of answering C as so basically I'm very small.
Nah, I want to say I'm at least.
But
I'm at least medium sized.
Catnap.
Cat.
Needing a cat. Okay, even if you're a medium-sized cat in a world of humans, you're very small. You could be the biggest cat in the playground and still be very small. But also, what people or conditions make your personality less effective? If you want to say like cat naps, that would very often probably get in the way of you fulfilling your missions.
It would be pretty funny, not gonna lie.
I think it could work. I think it would be a good answer.
Right. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Cat
Laying
nap.
Okay.
down in the middle of the battlefield.
I try to stare intensely into the guy, but then I just fall asleep. Staring intensely makes me sleepy.
You're about done with your shift. Stomach growls. Okay, guys, lunch break. But yeah, that's a City of Mist character, guys.
Woo-hoo!
Awesome.
That's 2 of them actually. One's a cat who's also a cop.
Download with my changes. He's here.
So anyway, with that, I I think that's it, actually. Let me make sure there's not a step 4. I don't think there is, though.
I just wanted to.
Oh yeah, step 4 is the crew.
Oh.
The crew theme. I almost forgot the
Oh,
crew theme.
crap.
That's like the most important
We
part.
did forget about the crew theme. Wait, well, would it be different? Would it
This
be
is
different
what
for a gatekeeper though?
we should look, but I don't think it is. I think that we can kind of operate the same way, especially since one character is still a rift. So anyway, we can always pull one of the template theme characters as well if we want to. Or the theme one of the template theme books. We did that in our official game because the templates are very good. But anyway, let's just read through this. Review the concept of your crew as a reflection of the series concept you all agreed upon at the beginning of the exposition session. For context, we would have an exposition session where everyone kind of like, y'all have heard of Session 0. I don't need to explain the concept of Session 0. Everyone lays out expectations. You kind of get a general idea of each other's characters, and then you talk about, okay, what kind of series do we want to run? The exposition session is no different. It's not really a session where you actually like sit down and play the game unless you have time left over at the end and you really want to, like, I don't know, do a prologue or something. But like it's an important part of the game. Anyway, back on track. Review the concept of exposition session, flesh it out together by thinking about the following questions. What is our shared goal? Who or what brought us together? Why do we work together? Where do we meet? What sort of resources do we have at our disposal? I honestly think the why do we work together thing might be a good thing to, like, build a crew theme around.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of you is a gatekeeper and the other one is a rift. So typically they don't work together.
Well, I'm thinking. Actually, I actually do have an answer. I think Austin might be able to agree with this one. So basically, Loki's goal would be probably to ascend the throne, take the throne of Asgard. But yet you might have other gods standing in your way. My duty is to make sure anyone that goes out of hand is personally controlled and or sealed away if need be. So
that works.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But I have another thing. Like, Austin's character is Loki, 1/4 Loki on his dad's side, as we established at the beginning. But
let's not forget the rest of Zeus on mom's side.
He's right. But he is far more Logos than Mythos. So I think his motivations are probably more in line with his Logos side.
Yeah.
So like we talked about, like, he's got this whole field of knowledge that he never gets to use in his daily life, that working with you is suddenly very relevant.
That's pretty true.
Would actually get to use my degree for something, which most people nowadays don't get to.
Well, that does work, and I like that.
I also like that. I think that works really well.
All right, so for this, if you scroll down to, I think it's page 3 on the character sheet, where we have the it's page 1, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
We got crew, story tags. Yep, story tags.
Oh, you mean on the character card? No, I'm talking about, like, you've got that one blank theme.
Oh, that one.
That
yeah.
That could be an extra theme, which is a thing that you worry about much later in the game. But I think for our purposes, we'll use it to fill out your crew theme data. And so I think the crew here, the purpose of this crew is, like, I think it may have just started out as an information exchange.
Ooh, I have an idea. I have an idea of how the information exchange happened.
Okay.
He just one day notices me and just follows me and kind of learns something.
Sees a cat being sus.
Yep, follows the sus cat.
Yeah.
Because that was actually my original thinking of, like, how, like, they met. It's just one day Austin's character noticed a cat being rather suspicious and followed it, which led it to some place he probably shouldn't need to be, but was okay to be there.
I think you can, like, if you're not okay with this, just tell me. But I think maybe it could be that Austin's character here saved your life. Austin, what did you name your character? Did you give them a name?
I have not given them a name yet.
We should probably do that so we can just stop. We can stop calling them just Austin's
right.
character.
Yeah. What's a good It's a good name.
For a Loki? Alligator.
Uh,
Alligator Jones. I'm just messing.
I mean, if we're talking about your human side, then you could always just go with like John.
Your name is human name. First name human, last name name.
John Doe.
John Doe. Oh, come on. That is too simple. That's too simple. Everyone does that.
His actual name is John Doe, the most generic man's man ever.
Exactly.
I mean that'd be funny, but I don't like the name.
Yeah, I don't like.
I don't like that. I mean that'd be funny.
Good for comedy.
That'd be good comedy if we actually went farther with this, but for this purpose, no.
What about John Odin's?
Ooh, yeah, like Jonathan Odins.
Jonathan Odins, please come to the office. I think just imagine hearing that in school.
Well, we know he didn't get bullied for his first name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, what I was thinking is I think it might be that, like, are we going with John Odin's, or do you want to come up with something better?
No, we can do John Odins.
Okay. I think it could just be that John, identify, like, you were going after a target. John identified the target, and, like, who the target was, because he was already awakened as Loki at that time, and that information saved your life, Cat.
Yes, my name is Cat with a K.
Okay. But yeah, I think that could be, like, the way the partnership started. It's like, just by accident, John saw something he wasn't supposed to, gave you information that saved your life.
That works. Because I don't have anything
And
better,
so
so that works.
Yeah.
And so as a reward, you did not also wipe his memory.
So, where would we write that? Story tags?
You don't necessarily need to write that anywhere. It's just like we need to come up with, like, some kind of plausible, like, thing for this partnership to be based around.
Gotcha.
And I think so first off, the type for this would just be it's just called a crew theme. So on the page 1 blank theme card where it says type, just say crew, and then theme title could be Partners of Convenience. I don't know.
Uneasy partnership.
Yeah, Uneasy Alliance. Exchange of Knowledge.
You want to go with an Uneasy Alliance?
I think that works.
All right.
It's ALIENCE, right?
No, it's ALLIENCE.
2 L's?
Yeah.
Why not?
Is it ENC or ANC?
No, it's ANCE.
Yeah,
oh, ANCE? So it's ALLIANCE?
Yeah. There we
That's
go.
better.
Okay. Now, we got power tag questions. And just a side note to anyone playing along at home and who intends to use this character on their own games, crew themes counts as extra themes. And extra themes work a little differently than your normal themes. Extra themes have power tags, but there's a concept with your power tags called burning a tag, where basically you can burn a tag for an automatic success on a roll. Weaknesses and status conditions are still applied, but if you burn a power tag, then it would count as if you rolled a 7 with a power of 3, which is a 10, and since this is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, a 10 is a perfect success. So, if you have no weaknesses and no applicable status conditions, then you would just automatically get a great success with a power of 3. If you have any statuses that take away from your power, then it could still be a mixed success. I say all that to say, using a tag the regular way on an extra theme, including the crew theme, counts as burning the tag. And when one person in the crew uses a tag off the crew theme, it counts as burned for the entire crew. You need to recover burned power tags the exact same way you would recover a burned tag through regular gameplay, which is either by rolling a change the game roll or by focusing on fixing that up during your montage, which is kind of like a downtime activity.
All right.
With that out of the way, let's go ahead and make our power tags. First off, we need A. How do you help, assist, or support?
I think we've answered that one with knowledge.
Yep, information.
Right?
Yeah, like
information breaker, right?
Yep. Exchanging information, yeah, kind of. B. Where do you meet, work, rest, or prepare for action?
Do we want to answer B?
I don't know if B makes sense for you guys. What have you learned to do well together? There's a typo
Oh,
here.
whoops.
Yeah, I noticed that
Oh,
too.
whoops. Thank you guys for noticing.
I'll have to check and see if that's in the actual like printed text or if that's just on my version of the PDF. Hopefully they fixed it for the second release. Because again, as I've explained before, I am using an older version of the text. If you buy City of Mist today, the core rulebook has been split into the player's handbook and the MC toolkit.
Mm.
It doesn't really matter which one you have. The only difference is the MC toolkit comes with a bunch of sample cases, which you can download for free off the website if you have the older book. So, who is guiding, backing, or assisting your operation? You could do this one because technically one of you is working for the gatekeepers, so all of your actions are sanctioned by the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers will not get in your way while you are doing work together.
That is true.
That would
That
work
would.
really well. That would be a very good story hook as
Yes. All right. So, what letter was this?
well.
Was it D?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. D. Not jokes.
gatekeepers.
Whatever. Okay. How to get that out of there?
Guiding gatekeepers.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Guiding gatekeepers fits.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm right. Because I always, when I spell guide, I always spell guild somehow. Like I always go with guild. And I'm like, no, I meant to say guide, mother. Gatekeeper. Who wants a guiding gatekeeper?
Okay. And then we've got, how do you get around? What environments or situations are you most comfortable in? What special sources of information do you have? What sort of reputation or name have you made for yourselves? What approach or tactic do you share in tackling challenges? What kind of special gear, resource, or power is at your disposal?
One of those did sound pretty good, but I forget which one it was again.
There's a couple that I liked, which is the special sources of information.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, but I was thinking of something else. I think it was a higher up from there.
Was it F, what environments or situations are you most comfortable in?
No, it might have been G.
G, what special sources of information do you have? Let's see, higher up than that, how do you get around? And then we're back to things that we've already either used or shot down.
All right. Well,
what approach or tactic do you share in tackling challenges?
That was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys got an idea for that?
Oh, no, but we can come up with one easily.
Yeah.
All right. How do we tackle this? Oh, okay. I get it. You're the bronze, I'm the cleanup.
Yeah. Like, we work well because I handle the actual situation while you and your crew kind of stays back, and then you guys just clean up after me. So that could be like one of the listed
crew.
Yeah,
one of the listed items is divide and conquer, but cleanup crew also works.
All right, so it would be I, and then either divide and conquer or cleanup crew.
I like cleanup crew.
And which letter was this again? I.
We're on to weakness.
Yay! What is flawed or lacking in the way you operate together? How do you get each other into trouble? Who or what are you all afraid of? What places or situations do you find tough to handle? Okay, I think A or B would probably work well.
Yeah, I was thinking
here.
A.
Yeah.
Actually.
I was also thinking A because if you're a cat, there's not really a way we can communicate well.
Right, and I was thinking because, I'm a gatekeeper, you're a mythos. I mean, kind of our jobs do kind of.
I think there's two ways you could play this. One, you have trouble communicating. Two, you don't approve of each other's actions.
He doesn't approve me sealing away the powers, and I don't approve him beating him up.
No, I think he's okay. He's okay helping you complete missions, but I think there could be times when, like, you are sent to deal with someone seemingly harmless, because the higher ups know that they might eventually become a threat to the stability of the world. Or I think it's the kind of thing like where you help him when you know it benefits you, but like there will be times when you are at odds because you have goals that are not in line with what the gatekeeper's mission is, and the gatekeepers are not really huge fans of rift-based activities.
Right.
I think that might be a B thing. Like, you get each other into trouble by, like,
Conflicts of interest.
yeah, conflicts of interest would get you into trouble. Or A, what is flawed or lacking in the way you operate together? I think you could do either one of those. You either have conflicting interests, or you have trouble communicating. Either way, I think we could get some interesting role play out of it.
I think if
I
you
like
want
it.
interesting roleplay, B would be the better choice.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Okay.
I think conflicts of interest would be way better than not being able to like
Right.
communicate at all.
I think you guys can have some form of communication. It's just like if you need to like share complicated messages, like James's character can't do that.
Yeah. That would be better for story, definitely.
Like I think there could be some comedy in the communication challenges, but there's a lot more drama in the conflicts of interest, and this is a noir story. So
Gotta have that drama.
Yep, we need that drama.
Yep. Okay. Now we need the mystery or identity. For example, get it done, get paid, don't ask questions for the paramilitary mercenaries, high school detectives teams. What strange forces are meddling with our school and why? Greek gods. It's either us or the Titans. Something you all agree must be done or must never be allowed. So like come up with an identity. The central question in a case you all want to solve, like a mystery. A code of conduct you all abide by, identity. A strange riddle which is key to your destiny, mystery.
What was that first thing you said, Joel?
Let's see. Something you all agree must be done or must never be allowed.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could do something along that lines.
Yeah, trying to think of like something that we wouldn't be allowed to do. Something that would conflict too much. You're not allowed to take my power.
Like I think this is something like you both agree must not happen in the world, not necessarily between you two. Not that you give each other a pass for it, but like
nah, if I
there's
wanted to, I'll
something
take your powers.
Damn.
Yeah, I was thinking like world issues. Like I'm trying to think like, okay, we have an uneasy alliance. What could be like? Okay, so our alliance, you saved me. You saved my character, and I owe you a little bit by letting you do all the muscle work. All right.
I've got an idea. I think you are right about saying like something you all agree must be done or must never be allowed. I think John as a character values a sense of normalcy. And I don't think he would be appreciative if that was stolen from other people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you would both be in agreement that mythos should not be allowed to inflict their will on the everyday lives of innocents.
That does
That
work.
works.
Like I don't know what succinct way you could say that to fit on those two lines, but like I think that's kind of the one thing you guys can agree on is people should not be allowed to wield power to hurt others.
Mythos cannot ruin reality, maybe?
That might work.
All right.
Is
I was
that
gonna say
that?
do like mythos should not interfere with normal people or something like that.
Yeah.
Interfere with normacy. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, that works. And that, I think, is actually it. Unless you guys want to do the crew relationships. The crew relationships thing is pretty simple. Basically, you guys hear each other's character concepts, write down the character's name on your crew list. So basically, each of you would have exactly one person to write down. And then you would need to decide whether you would give them a help point or a hurt point to start with. Basically, this is determining how is your guys' relationship at the beginning of the game. And I think it would be fair to say you guys are strained, so it would be up to you to determine, like, okay, is it strained to the point that, like, I think it would be safe to say, like, your guys' relationship is strained, but it's up to you to decide, okay, would I actively, like, try and get in the way of this person's interests at this time, or am I more inclined to help them achieve their goals?
I think John in the beginning would definitely be more inclined to help than to hurt.
Okay, so you would give Kat, which is just Cat spelled with a K, 1 help point.
Yes.
Now, Kat, you have already stated several times that without hesitation, you would take John Odin's power away if you determined he became a threat. So I think it would make sense for you to give a hurt point unless you have another argument.
Well, I was saying we're just doing this from the beginning, right? So like I was thinking like if we were continuing with the story, I'd feel like eventually the conflicts would get big and big to the point where I would start hurting John just a bit, tiny bit.
Yeah.
Like I feel like in the beginning we're smooth, okay, the alignment's goal, and then as we get on, it kind of just really strains.
Kind of deteriorates.
Yeah. Like this wouldn't have to be a set thing, right?
Right, like how you see this going at the beginning is not necessarily how it will play out at the end, because you guys will reassess your relationship at the end of every session.
So basically. I think like if we're just starting out, I would probably also put like a help point just in case, because that's I like that story. So right now, like we meet, we do stuff together, it lines up, but then as we continue on with the story, our conflicts start conflicting and things get out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you guys will one or both of you will compromise on values to the point that things don't come to a head because you've influenced each other to a certain degree. I think the way things are set up, things will eventually come to a head if John pursues Loki's goals for him.
Yeah.
Right now, that is so far from John's regular, like, daily life interest that probably won't happen unless Loki's influence over John grows stronger. Like, if he loses a Logos theme and replaces it with Mythos themes.
Yeah.
I think at that point, like, things would start to break down, and your interests might skew more towards, like, well, maybe I do deserve to rule.
And of course,
maybe this is my purpose.
Yeah, that'll be your purpose. And then, of course, if you reached 4 Mythos entirely, completely gave in, well, that's where we done.
No, you can only have 3 of one type of theme. If you lose your final Logos theme or you lose your final Mythos theme, you will either become a sleeper or an avatar. And there are special rules for playing as a sleeper and an avatar.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it's a state you can end whenever you want to, whenever it seems relevant to you to end it. That you can just wake up as a new Mythos or return to a sense of humanity. Maybe not even the same person, just have a new human goal that strays from the singular focus of your avatar. Anyway, I love this system. It has so much room for like character development as like mechanical growth, leveling up, etc.
It is very cool. I would love to play a game in this system at some point.
Yes, Joel, you need to organize one for us.
I may try to do that at some point. But for right now, we are basically done with this. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We're not actually done yet. I don't know why I'm making it sound like we are. Before we wrap up, James, do you have any, do you have a mixtape to drop on us or any other projects or anything that you would like our audience to go check out that you're doing?
Well, as you know, I do stream here and there.
And what's that channel name?
You can go on Twitch. It used to be ChaosKingTyrone, but now I changed it to MasterKingTyrone. So if you go on Twitch, look up MasterKingTyrone. I stream on Tuesdays and Fridays now. It used to be Wednesday, but I'm taking that out. But yeah, mostly it'd probably be like, playing on my Switch, but I have been doing a Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door series, like going back through my childhood, playing those type of games.
Nice. I should warn you, this will probably not come out until July, so you will probably be done with Paper Mario by time people hear this.
Well, but I actually already do have a plan for after Paper Mario. I have heard that there's a Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness ROM hack that makes the game a lot harder, and it has Alolan forms in it, so I really want to play that.
Ooh.
Curious.
Can you send that link my way?
Yeah. I can send that your way.
Yeah, maybe just drop that in the group chat here. Anyway, so you can, of course, find me by going to jholland.start.page. I will probably eventually have a better thing for that. And I have secured a Twitter account for the game. I will probably be dropping a link to this in other videos in post. But we have a Twitter account, which is @LiteralCatPod. As of right now, that is kind of the only web presence I have for us, but I will probably make a Tumblr thing as well by time this comes out, because Tumblr has the ability to embed audio in posts.
Oh, that's cool.
Not know that.
Yeah, and we're doing a podcast, so that seemed relevant.
Very much so.
So anyway, I'll probably make a start page for Literal Cat Pod as well that'll link to, like, the Tumblr, the Twitter, the TikTok, the Instagram. Actually, I don't know if Instagram would be any good. Instagram is kind of going downhill, so I've heard.
Yeah.
But anyway, finally, Austin.
So I mentioned this in the first episode, I believe. I did end up changing my online handles. So you can now find me on Twitter, Twitch, and I think that's really all I use. But you can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Avalon Alchemist, capital A on both of those. I will going to start streams up again very soon, because I did get my new setup installed.
Nice.
So I'm gonna be running stuff like Destiny's gonna be a mainstay. Maybe some
One or two.
two. Oh, playing Destiny 1 just ugh. But Destiny's gonna be a mainstay. I've been playing modded Call of Duty Zombies, which has been fantastic. And I'm gonna be playing tons of indie games, such as Ooblets, probably Slime Rancher again before Slime Rancher 2 comes out.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Man, I think that's actually it this time for now. So Austin, you want to close us out here? You're allowed to use a pun. It's okay.
It's true. We've used many cat puns in this recording specifically, but I hope you all have a good day. Keep it fresh. And we'll see you around next time. No cat pun. Just a nice send off.
Wow.
Okay.
I think catastrophe.
Catastrophe. Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to one of our first recordings of how to make a literal cat in your favorite RPG. These episodes were recorded before we had certain information nailed down, so some of it might be missing or inaccurate. Under normal circumstances, we try and discuss this information in episode, but for the record, Joel Holland, me, is on social media and publishing sites with the username Denala Lioge. I understand that you might not guess how to spell or pronounce that, so you can go to jholland.start.page, linked in the show notes, to access all of those links at once. Austin Irwin has recently changed his username on most social media sites from Redhead Warlock to Avalon Alchemist. He's active on Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok under the new name. If you have a specific type of cat you'd like to see, you can email us at literalcatpod@gmail.com to recommend games, suggest character concepts and prompts, or to request collaborations, guest spots, or other business inquiries. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at literalcatpod to receive updates, ask questions, and of course don't forget to leave a review on the listening service of your choice. If you want us to see it though, I highly recommend leaving your review on Podchaser. Finally, you can grab all the character sheets at bit.ly/literalcatpod. Following that link will take you to a Dropbox folder containing every character sheet from every episode. Once again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Okay, you wanna do that just like one more time for a clean
Man, what a blooper reels.
It's okay.
Welcome to the bloopers, everyone. Okay, screw it. Welcome to this is quite the Catopolis. Better. There you go. That's better.